Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. I actually just shared a quote and it said, Happy Monday. Oh, it's Monday, October 6th. Today I refuse to stress myself out about things I cannot control or change. You know what? I'm just gonna roll with that. I am so gonna roll with that today. Don't no need to like give any brain power or space to anything that we can't control. So today I thought that we would just take a few minutes. If you want to just share in the chat something that you're really excited about or proud about that happened in September. I always love talking about goals. What we do, we show up here every Monday just for 30 minutes, just for kind of some tips and inspiration on how we are working our businesses, some, income producing activities, some mindset stuff. So I just wanted to share one or two things with y'all. And then if anybody has anything to add, or if we have anybody that wants to share, I know my friend Bridget is going to jump on if she can. She's got a sick kiddo, but she was going to share a few things. But two things that I wanted to share for you guys really quick. This is like my business devotional, and I love it. So usually I just like randomly open up to whatever I think I want to go with. But today I was like, well, it's a new month. So let's just see what October 6th has to say. Because it is Little Business Insights. This is Positive Action Plan from Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. I was like, well, let's just see, since it's Monday and a new month and all of those things. So here's your Monday, October 6th. Take possession of your own mind, and you may soon make a life pay off on your terms. So he says, your mind is unquestionably your most valuable possession. You may lose every material thing you own, but knowledge can never be taken away from you. With it, you can earn a new fortune, you can build a new home, you can buy anything you truly desire. No one can control your thoughts. Even the cruelest tyrant cannot force you to think about something that you refuse to accept. When you make a deliberate decision to take control of your mind and feed it with positive, constructive thoughts, you are on your way to taking control of your life. The thoughts you allow to dominate your mind will determine what you will get from life. I don't know about you guys. I could probably read that thing every single day. I mean, like it just applies to so many areas. And I was just thinking back to what we choose to think about has such monumental impacts for how we feel and what we do. So I will give you a super quick example reflecting on September. Okay, Aaron said I had two teammates promote to senior silver. Wonderful, which I think also means, correct me if I'm wrong, that you hit icon, I think. But great job on that. Catherine re-ranked gold, which is incredible, amazing. Re-ranked gold. Reading it every night, daily reading, hey, that can even be a goal. Just committing to daily reading and all of that. Yay, Aaron is icon. Congratulations. And 6 orders from Ruby. I know that was such a big, big goal. And I watched all of those sticky notes get pulled off. And knowing that you were that much closer. So here's what I will say, and I'm sure you're already doing this. You kind of let yourself say, well, this was the goal and we fell 6 orders short, but knowing that I can focus on what I'm going to think about that, right? Because if we think and dwell on what didn't happen versus what did happen, it could spiral into a 90-day, woe is me, or just be fuel for this is how close we got. So celebrating icon in the 2 new senior silvers and all of the new growth. And wow, I don't know what your exact point jump was, but being that close to Ruby, I'm sure like this month is just going to be incredible. So congratulations, Aaron, on that. So my personal thing with one of my goals was I wanted to earn Leaders Retreat in the first month. That was like a huge goal for me. And I fell short by like 295 credits. But in that, I knew that I wanted to stay top 300 on the leaderboard. I don't know why it's a thing. When I see my name highlighted on the top 300 leaderboard for Leaders Retreat credits, it makes me feel like, okay, like I'm staying on track and all of the things. So this morning I had to wake up and either say, I'm really upset that I did not see 1,600 Leaders Retreat credits in my back office, and I have to flip that to I have 1,300 credits, and I'm that much closer. And what am I going to do about getting that? But the consolation prize for me was it did keep me on the top 300. And so I literally looked at it every single morning, and there were 2 days in September where I bumped below the top 300. And instead of being like, where are we going? What are we doing? What is happening? I was like, okay, I pulled out my sheet. I bumped off the top 300. Who has the 300th spot? What are their credits? And what do I personally need to do in my business to get myself back to that many credits? And it all happened to be personal level 1 enrollments that was the only thing I could count on and control, right? I can't control anybody else or any other numbers coming from anybody else. Now, we'll talk a little bit more at the end about helping other people to see the vision and rock and roll. But I was like, okay, so for those 2 days that I was off the 300 at the bottom, behind the scenes, I was doing everything that I could think about and personally control, because that's the only control that I had. And then, got myself back up there, which was like, okay, awesome. So as far as goal setting goes, make sure you guys have to know, where am I going? How am I going to get there? And all of the work that goes with that, knowing what you need to do. I see Bridget jumped on, and like I said, I could completely talk this whole time, but Bridget, do you mind sharing about your month and all the amazing things that you had go on?
Sure, I can jump on. Can y'all hear me okay? Because I put
Yeah.
my AirPods in. Um, okay, so we had a really good month. My team is very, very deep and we aren't super wide. So what that means is I have a lot of lower levels that are working. And so I am trying to work with my top levels to try to grow wide and try to get them to grow their business. And so I was able to, we were able to re-rank Emerald. I have three, including myself. I have actually four Emeralds on my team. I'm Emerald. My one is Emerald, my level 3, and my level 5. And so three of us were able to re-rank Emerald this past month. And I think honestly, what helped us do that the most was really being involved with our team and being active in our message groups. And so I feel like I said, I have a lot of working, like I have my level 7 and 8 and 6 are already icon. And so I have a lot of deep people that are working. And so my points like trickle up, like when it's 1 point for every ad, that's not very much. And so I'm trying to focus more, like Sarah said, on myself. We were able to earn Leaders Retreat in the first month, and in 8 years, that's the first time I've ever done that. And so if you've been here for a long time, like don't let that discourage you. Like just keep putting in the work. I have to remind myself that when I'm not growing and when I'm not hitting those goals that I set for myself, usually it's because of me. And so I've just kind of slacked off and I'm not putting in the daily work. And so even talking like with one of the Plexus coaches last week, she was like, Bridget, you have to focus on that 30 minutes and that hour every single day. I take usually Sundays off, but outside of that, she's like, you have got to focus on doing your IPA, those 30 minutes to an hour. And so a goal that she gave me that I'm going to be working on this month is really grabbing onto someone's hand and stop I think I'm trying to put it into words what I'm thinking, because a lot of times I'm so focused on trying to build, like, how many silvers can I get? Like, let me help all these friends. Like, I can help people get to silver. I can help people get to silver. And I do. And I have a lot of silvers, which helps my outside leg, right? But I'm not getting anyone to senior silver and to gold and to really jump into this business and go. And so her momentum for me was to really grab someone's hand and say, let's do this for 30 minutes every single day. Like we can do follow-ups with customers. We can do a post or a reel, and we can reach out with at least 3 messages every single day. And it doesn't have to be anything grand in those messages, but just reaching out to people and saying, have you ever tried this paint drink that I'm always sharing about? Simple, short. My goal to my team, my number one thing that I've been telling them all last week was use Monday through Thursday to message new people with this message. whatever, feels comfortable to you. And on Friday, go back to every single person that you sent a message to and say, hey, especially if they didn't respond, go back to every single person and say, hey, not sure if you saw that message. I know how life gets so busy and curious if you have ever tried this pink drink. What's your weekend plans? Something very simple. I feel like a lot of times we're sending all these messages. We get to the end of the month and we're like, oh, like no one has responded. And so I was really encouraging my team, like, go back to those people that you were sending messages to. Like go back and remind them about the message. Make it not weird, not icky, right? And just refresh their mind and come back around to them. Because I did find that in September, my team was sending a lot of messages. They were messaging a lot of people. They were posting every single day, but they weren't circling back around and coming back to those people. And yeah, I don't know if you're like me, like I'll get a text message, and sometimes like 4 days later, I'm like, oh my goodness, I never responded to this person. Um, so just being active in my team chat. Sometimes I'm the only one in my team chat that says anything. Maybe I'll get a heart or a love on something, but piping in there every single day, sending those messages every single day, reminding myself to send those messages. And this month, my main focus is going to be grabbing someone's hand, stop trying to spread myself thin, because I'll talk to someone about going silver. I give them all the things, and then I don't come back around to them until a week later. And so really just focusing more on one person instead of trying to get a ton. What else, Sarah?
No, I just want to highlight one of the things that you said about it's kind of the baby stepping and hand holding. And I think back to like when I got trained as a nurse, like when I graduated from nursing school, that didn't mean that I knew about the monitors in ICU or that I knew how to, help a laboring patient deliver a baby. So kind of thinking about that, like on the job, hands-on training for, hey, can I help you with your first post? I'll write it and then you can edit it and see if you want to post it. And sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. That's like exactly what I needed. I didn't know what to post. So I think it's huge that you said like spending that 30 minutes or an hour focusing on a few key people and helping them. It's the onboarding, right? It's the getting them started. I don't know about y'all. When I get so excited that I hit like recruiting goals, then I'm like, oh wait, now I have all these new people like we just started. That's not, you can't like check it off the list and move on, right? So
Right.
yeah, I love that you're doing that.
Yeah, and one thing that Amber Miller mentioned in the icon training that she did, she mentioned a lot of times we'll tell someone new that's like, oh, maybe I want to share this link. She said a lot of times we're like, great, okay, think of some people that you can send it to and send this message. She said now instead that she actually tells them, okay, tell me 3 people right now. And I'm going to help you write a message to each of those people. So instead of, because you kind of throw them off and they're like, oh, I can't think of anyone. So really holding their hand and getting them there and helping them get past the silver onto senior silver. So that was helpful for me.
Perfect. I love it. And I think one thing, I'm not sure if you guys do this, but I'm reminded that phone calls and FaceTimes, even if it's just a quick 5 or 10 minute call to get to know somebody or to, deal with goals or like you said, the one-on-one. I don't know if you did specifically any calls or FaceTimes, but I'm really bad about hiding behind that voice messenger. So getting out there and putting yourself out there. So thank you, Bridget. I'm so proud of you and love cheering you on. We've got lots of good stuff going on with lots of people. Okay, I am going to try really hard to change this to, there we go, gallery view, because this cursor and spotlighting thing removes, I'm going to remove spotlight. There we go. Now I can see everybody. Okay, really quick, I want to give you guys a list of, it's a new month. We still have plenty of time for Leaders Retreat. We have, we're in the last, whatever, 90 so days running to the end of the year. Sometimes a lot of times I'm all over the place. And this list has kind of helped me with, okay, whether it's a Monday or a new month or just a new day, here's some things that help me. So number one, brain dump. I have papers and notepads like literally everywhere, but I found this sticky pad. It says stuff I will forget if I don't write it down. It's little post-it notes. And I kind of have been putting it places because I have found that when my brain is full and I'm like, oh, I'm going to keep track of that, or oh, I'm just going to keep a running tally of what I need to do. It's almost like this physical weight. I can feel like, my chest gets tight, and I'm like, okay, we're going to take a deep breath and we're going to do a brain dump. So the first thing, number one, is brain dump. And if you don't have a brain dump notebook, that's important. After you do your brain dump, whether it's 2 things or 27 things, and this can be business, life, kids, household, work, then you need to categorize. Okay. In order for my husband to come home from work and it to feel like a good day, what do I need to get done at home? Like, where is that for my, category? And then what do I need to do for my business today? And then looking at my kids' schedules. Do I need to do an extra drop off? Am I going to have an hour extra because they don't need this? So, categorize how everything needs to happen. After you categorize, prioritize. Okay, so are there things pressing that have to get done today? I have a package on my kitchen table. I've already got the return label. Like, it's literally sitting there. And if I don't prioritize putting it in my car and driving to the post office, it will sit there for 2 weeks, right? It's just one of those to-dos that just stresses me out and overwhelms me. So you may need to make sure to prioritize based on deadlines and timelines that are either self-imposed or school says you have to have this by XYZ. Now in the back of my brain, I'm like, okay, I've got an 8th grader. He's at a new high school. In 2 weeks, it's homecoming week. Every single day, they're going to have a different theme. I don't want to get to Sunday night before homecoming week and be like, oh my gosh, and be running around like a chicken with my head cut off and not plan. But that's not something that I necessarily need to do today, right? I still have 2 weeks. So it's in there. It's on my brain dump. It's in a category. Prioritization wise, it does not have to happen today. And that makes me feel like I can take a little bit of a deep breath. Okay. From there, you need to make a plan. What is your plan to execute all of the things that you need to get done for today, this week, this month, this year? Okay. And that plan could look like what Bridget said, 30 minutes a day working with a level 1 to help them post, 1 hour a day working on, recruiting and prospecting or social media. What is that action plan going to be for the items that you need to have done? I am not going to lose 20 pounds by the end of the year if I don't categorize, prioritize, and make a plan for what I'm going to be eating, how I'm going to be moving my body, all of those things that need to happen, right? From there, with your overall plan, you need to specifically time block. Mondays from 9:30 to 10, we are all showing up and getting motivated, inspired, and adjusting our mindset so that for the week we can move forward. Is there someplace else in your day and your week that you can time block 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours? Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I am getting to car line 30 minutes early and I'm sitting in my car and I'm only doing follow-ups, right? Sometimes you just have to put that time in there. And that is something that can be really, really important. But guess what? If you don't block that time, the time is going to pass and it's either going to be wasted or used on something that wasn't part of your priority. So from there, then you just execute your plan. You execute and you look at your calendar and you're like, okay, Tuesday from 2 to 3, I already have it time blocked out that this is when I'm going to check in with all of my new customers. But I am telling you, if you're not proactive with this list, you will be reactive. And when you're reactive, then you will get all up in your feels about what's happening or not happening. And it's one of those things where I have had Sundays where I physically feel this anxiety just building in me because I know I have so much to do for the week and I have no earthly idea how I'm going to get it done. So then you brain dump, categorize, prioritize, make a plan, time block your plan, execute your plan. And then you review that. If it worked, great, keep doing it. If it didn't work, edit where you need to. And then, refocus. Whether it's a new day, a new week, a new month, a new year, this list you will not go wrong with doing that. So I hope that is helpful as far as that goes. Back to really quick goals. For October, are we enrolling 3? Are we enrolling 6? Getting the Lululemon gift cards, all of the things that you need to look at for where you're going. But in all of this, I want you to remember that there could be a rank goal, there could be a leaders retreat goal, there could be a personal goal, but I want you guys to have goals where you can say, I did that and I feel successful and accomplished, and it will have nothing to do with an outcome that's equal to something that you may or may not be able to directly control. So I'm going to sit down and do 10 brand new reach outs. That gives me a goal that I can accomplish, right? And check off my list. It's almost like the make your bed so you can take a deep breath and know, okay, I didn't get the whole house clean, but my bed is made, right? You do those baby step goals that help you, because when you can start stacking those little wins, it gives you a little bit more fuel and motivation for the bigger wins. Now, I want to challenge you guys with one more thing, and then I'll open it up if you guys have questions or if you want to share something. And this doesn't say exactly what I want it to say, but this was another October. Oh, shoot. Let me see if I can find the page. Okay. The imagination is the workshop of the soul, where are shaped all of the plans for individual achievement. Before you can build anything worthwhile, you must first create it in your mind. Your mind is not constrained by physical limitations or boundaries. In the workshop of your mind, you can visualize things that have never been. I want you guys to think about. So for me, after coming out of this summer and how everything has felt, I keep going back to the videos from the Moon Palace Resort in Cancun on Instagram, and using that as a visualization tool for what my husband and I need for a getaway in February. And yes, it's Leaders Retreat. And yes, I want all my team to be there and all of those things, but visualizing being at that resort and walking on the sand and listening to the waves crash and having those thoughts and feelings and emotions and sunshine in February and all of those things, that is a personal driver that like literally is like, okay, who can I help today? How can I help somebody earn something today? How can we all row together? But this visualization piece of picturing myself there is something that feels big enough and important enough that it makes me want to be internally motivated to do the work that I need to do. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts or feelings about that. I do feel like setting the goal and doing the work is important, but if you keep saying in your subconscious, I'm never going to earn it, or I can't earn it, I don't even understand or know what that means. Same with, I want to drive a free Lexus, I want to earn $5,000 a month. There might be big things that you just feel like you don't even visualize or put out there because you feel like it's too big or too much. And I want you guys to allow yourself to start dreaming and thinking big for what's possible. And sometimes it does take some of those baby steps of hitting some of those goals and then allowing things to be like, wow. I mean, when I went on my very first Plexus trip, I was like, I've never experienced anything like this in my entire life. And then it opened up my eyes and my brain to allow me to dream a little bit bigger, because then I actually saw what was possible. So that's kind of my thoughts. Does anybody want to unmute and either add to a September shout out or anything that you feel like is working? Yay, Melissa's already got her first Lululemon gift card. I think that's wonderful. Y'all feel free. Raise your hand, just unmute. Anybody have anything else they want to add? Questions? Oh, thoughts, questions, feelings. Okay, well, I'm going to give you guys that challenge then. I want you to have I do need to get a new notebook. This is all of mine, but I have a list for today of everyone that I talked to in September. 3 people still had shopping carts that did not actually use them. And I do want to tell you guys, when I went back for the end of the month and was following up with people, I have one person, and it was my 5th message to them where they had seen what I had written and had not done anything. No thumbs up, no heart, no comment, nothing. And for just a split second, I was like, do I send a fifth follow-up? And then I was like, yes, you do. So this is what I put. I was like, hey, I literally do not want to bug you, and I do not want to fill your inbox with messages that you do not want to receive. So I just wanted to let you know I'm going to keep checking in with you until you tell me not to. And I'll have to go back and look. I don't even know I think that actually she finally said, oh my gosh, I'm just so crazy busy. Like I have this. Thank you so much for thinking of me. I'll get back with you next month. So when I could have like allowed myself to be like, she thinks I'm terrible. This is so cringe. I'm being one of those network marketing people. I flipped it around to, I want to be helpful. I want to have amazing customer service. And if somebody started a conversation because they had a question, I'm going to keep showing up until they get all the answers they need or until they say, thank you so much, Sarah. I actually commented on that post, but I do not want to hear from you ever again. I'm going to keep helping people until they say, I don't want to hear from you ever again. So I want you guys to really work on your mindset with how that feels. Same thing. I have some new people who ordered last month who have their products, and I've done all of the let's get started. Tell me when you're started. Tell me when you get your package. We'll start the pink drink. Here's my plan for your first 5 days. Like boop, 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 boop. And a month later now, I have no idea if they've started their product. I have not heard back from them. I'm like, well, that's right, but I'm going to keep giving good customer service. So I'll finish and close on this. I had a doctor's appointment last week, and I was having massive anxiety because a previous appointment had gone very poorly. I just had a person who was having a very bad day, who didn't want to be helpful, and who did not respond with kindness for a panic attack that I literally had no control over. And so I was feeling anxiety. So I went into this next appointment and just explained, I'm trying to be a big girl here, but I just want you to know I'm feeling some anxiety because I have a history of these appointments not going well. And this, it was an MRI that I had to have. This MRI technician literally stopped and stepped one step closer to me and, looked right at me. And he was like, tell me what you need or what would make this feel better. And he just started offering, like, we've got 3 different, cages that we can put over your head. Which one feels like it would be, the least triggering to you? And then he's like, we have two different kinds of headphones, and we can play music for you. And then he was like, we can do earplugs and then headphones, or no earplugs. And like every step of the way, he paused with kindness and gave me suggestions and offered to make my experience feel good. And so got all situated, and then he realized that my arms were I didn't have anything to do with my arms. So he went and got 2 blankets and rolled them up and propped up my arms. And then he asked if I needed a blanket, if I was hot or cold. Anyway, I'm giving you all of these details because it's one of those things where when I was on the receiving end of care, and when I felt valued, that I was human enough to deserve to have my feelings acknowledged, it made the entire experience absolutely so much better. 1, than the previous, but 2, just overall. And then when we were done, he was like, take your time sitting up. I don't want you to get dizzy. And then he helped me get up. And like, it was completely opposite. Now, I went to the same business, same MRI machines, and 2 completely different experiences, right? And so being on the receiving end of feeling heard and valued and cared for, I walked out of there and I was like, I want every person in my life that knows me or not, that comes in contact with me, I want them to feel seen and heard and valued and all of those things. And customer care can be one of those things. When somebody expresses that they have battled or struggled with XYZ for 10 years and are being vulnerable enough to say, do you think these products could help me? Do you think this community could serve me? Do you think, and us being able to give the care and concern and supporting somebody, I don't want to take that for granted, and I don't want to take that lightly, that walking with somebody on this journey is a privilege and a blessing, and that if we can just choose to love and to serve and to add value and care, it has changed my perspective on customer care and follow-up. I want to go send the thank you cards. I want to go do the voice messages just saying, I see you where you are, and we're going to baby step this together. So I hope that story helps a little bit, because being on the receiving end of somebody who just basically did not like their job and made my situation feel so. And then I left feeling guilty, like I was a bad patient after I had such a bad experience the previous month, versus, walking out completely at ease and calm and, a good experience. So maybe that can be a little bit of a tip. But again, let's go back to the mindset that we started with. I want you guys to have your goals, have your vision, celebrate your wins, but then we're going to brain dump, categorize, prioritize, plan, time block, and execute, and rock and roll. And I'm very visual, so I love like what Erin did with the sticky notes, whatever it needs to be for you to know. Again, for me, pulling up that leaders retreat leaders board every single day and seeing who's on the top 300 and what my credits are and what the 300 and or 299th number is, knowing, okay, I need this many enrollments with this PV or this person. Now this month is going to be, I've got 11 new level ones. How can we help everybody make their first post? How can we get everybody started on the products? How can we cast that vision for, hey, I know you just started, but did you know if you grab 3 friends this month, this is what will happen? And so that's where all of those conversations start, with getting them to that next step. And not forgetting. And then the last thing I will say, this was only the second time in 15 years that I enrolled more than 10 people in 1 month. And it honestly was posting a little bit more, sharing more testimonials, responding to everybody in my stories, creating conversations. And whenever I feel like I'm being a little bit like one of those crazy Plexus people, I always realize there's more people out there who have no idea what I do and still need what we have. And it was just one of those things. The month felt great. It felt a little bit challenging, and I stepped out of my comfort zone a little bit, but then big things really happened. And it was really, 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 a good reminder that 15 years in, people still need what we have, and my network isn't exhausted. So anyway, okay, you guys, thank you for jumping on. I hope this was helpful. And I will put some of these notes in our chat, and then I will share the recording with you when that gets processed. So thank you. Happy October. Let's rock and roll.